guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rena. If you're new here, then welcome. We are reviewing some skincares today, and we're going back to one of my old favorite brands here in Australia, which is Sukin. They came out with 3 brand new serums, and I've purchased all of them. I've tested it out, I've learned ingredients, I got my notes down here, whether I personally like it or not, whether I would recommend, and etc, etc. So same as all of my other skincare review videos, if you watched it before, then you know how it goes. I did had one video about Sukin. It's one of their hydration line. When I reviewed it, it was new launch, but it's no longer a new launch anymore. But if you want to watch that video, I did go through a little bit more about Sukin as a brand, so you might want to watch just the chapter of it. I had all the timestamps in that video. I'll link that video somewhere, so you can just quickly watch that part if you don't know the brand, and then jump right back in. So long story short, Sukin Australian brand, and I really love it. They've gone through a lot the last year, or particularly early this year. For a second, I thought I would never see this brand coming out with new things, and maybe they were slightly fading out the skincare market here in Australia, and I really don't want to see that happen. But by the looks of it, the fact they came out with 3 new serums, and there's a lot of promotions, at least advertisement that I see everywhere. I don't know if it's because I see one and now my brain just automatically picks up all these, or if it's really they put into a lot of effort to promote these. It's a great thing that I know they're still, you know, manufacturing new stuff. So hopefully the brand's gone through up and downs and it will come back strong. That's what I'm hoping for. That is also why I was really excited when I see they have the 3 new serums. So without further ado, let's just dive into it. If you like today's content, don't forget to give me a like and consider subscribe down below. I do have a lot of skincare reviews, mainly focus on Australian brand like Native, Sweet Skincare, Sukin, Thursday Plantation. I've also done some for the Asian, Korean brands, like a mixture of everything for a full face skincare routine. So I'll leave the playlist and a few videos down just in case you're wondering. Before we dive into each individual serums, I want to quickly mention the price as well as the size of the serums. They're all coming in the same size bottle, 25 mils, and they all retail for $35 here in Australia. I know it's a little bit expensive. So to me, I think changing the price is definitely not the worst thing. It means they are innovative, and they're probably putting a lot more new studies into it, and that's why they're making the price a little bit higher than usual. Sukin is well known with very affordable price for a really big sized product. 30 ml eye cream, 125 ml face cream. That's really common, and that's normal for Sukin back in the days. But since I was reviewing their hydration line, I've noticed that slightly gone sizing slightly smaller and price is slightly higher. I would say $35 for full price. Getting a 25 ml bottle serum from Sukin is a little more than what I expected. I would expect to be, let's say frankly, $25 to $29, like under $30 for 25 ml. So $1 per meal will be something I would really wanting to purchase for a full price. But do wait for half price sale, or 30-40% sale, which is pretty common at Chemist Warehouse. And you can also buy this from Safeway as well as Coast, I believe. Sukin official website did have 50% off across their sites during the Afterpay days, and I believe probably Black Friday would have the same thing again. So if you're eyeing it, maybe wait for those moments and don't buy it at full price. I guess that's the key point, and I'm trying to point it out. Alright, let's dive into each individual serum. I think I'm going to go with the orange packaging one because it's so vibrant. This is their brightening serum with ultra stable vitamin C, borate seed oil, and basabolone. So the key function for this serum, as they suggested it, is for even skin tone and brighten skin. We are going to go through the ingredients. So what I really like about this packaging is they have a side where they have some key ingredients they want you to know, and they tell you what it's all about. And then they do have the full ingredient list at the back. And then on the other side, they tell you all the Sukin like the no harsh chemicals, no mineral oils, etc. That's something so Sukin, that's their philosophy. And this particular bottle is 99% natural origin, of course Australian made, carbon offside, cruelty free and vegan, and that comes to all of the serums. Looking at the ingredient list, this one has the longest ingredient list compared to the other 2. So there's a few things I want to talk about. So we're going to go with the ingredient that I see in the order from the highest concentration to the least concentration. I don't know the exact percentage, but we're gonna go in that order so you know what's more and what's less. The first one that I see worth mentioning is they have jojoba seed oil here, which is a great soothing, calming ingredients. When you're having active ingredients like vitamin C, you want something to calm, soothing the skin so it's not so irritated. And then we also have flaxseed oil, also called linseed oil. This is something they mentioned on the side packaging here. So this one is containing omega-3 fatty acids along with other fatty acids. It's really good to pump up the hydration. For evening skin tone, they want to have the plumping effect so it looks brightened. That's why they have all these oils in here. But that's not all. They also have borage seed oil, again a nice hydration ingredient, and also help to smooth the skin barrier, strengthening the skin barrier. Then we have evening primrose oil. You can probably already tell this is a slightly oily form serum. I'll talk more about it when I go into my personal experience. So evening primrose oil, you might see this during the vitamin that you eat, the capsules. It's really good for female in particular, but for skincare wise, it's just more for moisturization. Then we have tomato fruit extract, which is a key thing they mentioned at the front label, saying clinically proven to instant brighten skin. So tomato, to me, as a fruit or veggie, I know it's a good antioxidant just from nutrients sort of aspect. But as a skincare, it's a weak antioxidant and it has some sort of effect of brightening skin, uneven skin tone, but don't know to what extent. Their clinical trial, let's be honest, have a label here based on in vivo ingredient study, not on real human. The study number is 4. And they have a results visible 1 hour after application. So essentially what they did is they have 4 samples sitting here, done the tomato extract, fruit extract, in an hour time, take a picture, and it's like, okay, they all look brightened. Such a small sample size, such a quite limited study. I would not consider this as clinical proven, as a medical level clinical proven, but they've done a clinical trial. That is not wrong. Like, they're not saying anything falsely, but they are having a little bit of marketing strategy here, which I think it's good they've done something, but I wouldn't rely on this. Nevertheless, having the tomato fruit extract, like I said, is a great weak antioxidant. I still love having it, but I won't rely on this solely. So keep on going on the ingredient list. We can see they're very stable vitamin C. We have ascorbate tetrasopalmitate. This is a very stable vitamin C because it's oil soluble. Deodorant deodorant does have a vitamin C in the same derivatives. It's their vitamin F, I think that's what they call it. They have it in 20%. I've used it before. I can't be sure exactly how I felt, but I did not remember it was super oily. So it's a relatively light but soluble in oil form. So most of the vitamin C is water soluble, so it's very unstable. When it's oil soluble, it's super stable. And when you pair with all the other oils, it actually helps with the penetration and how to help vitamin C from a derivative turn into the ascorbate acid. So it's really good. They have all these oils and everything paired with it, and then they also have vitamin E after the vitamin C, so a lot of hydration ingredient. Then they have something they mentioned on the side label here, which is basabolum. I hope I got the name right. This is another soothing and anti-aging ingredient, and they have somewhat fading discoloration properties. Looking at all the ingredients, I have to say the vitamin C derivative here is not very high up on the list. It's not at the bottom. It's kind of somewhere mid-line. So I guess the concentration won't be very high. It will be really good for introductory, especially if you're after a oil kind of formed vitamin C. So I would say more for a drier skin type, more friendly than an oily skin. I have normal to combo skin type, and I found this serum, it's probably the upper limit that I can tolerate as an oily serum. If it's get any more oilier than this, I won't be loving it. Looking at the product, we come in with a dropper bottle, and they have some sort of the shield bottle, but it's not 100% ultraviolet proof, so you have to store it somewhere dry and avoid direct sunlight. The consistency of the product is relatively lightweight, so it's a quite lightweight oil texture, and it's pretty clear in color. I did not notice any scent in particular, and on the packaging says this one only contains essential oils. They are all at the bottom of their ingredient list. We have mandarin orange peel oil, orange oil, lavender oil, kiwi seed oil as well. So there's a whole bunch. I guess it's to actually minimize some of the other oils they had early on their ingredient list so it doesn't smell too oily. Personal experience when I'm using this, I'll show you a little bit on the back of my hand. You probably have seen the clips as already. It's pretty runny and it's pretty easy absorbed into my skin, but there is a bit of shine left. So this is the hand I've applied the serum. This is the hand without. Like, it's not very obvious differences, but this is definitely a little bit more shinier. So I use vitamin C in the morning and then I pair with my moisturizer, sunscreen, makeup afterwards. If this is not a base that you prefer a really mattifying serums or a serum that doesn't give you any shine or glow, I would say think twice before you go ahead and do this one. I found this is really good if I'm just applying another moisturizer and I'm ready to go, but because I'm also using sunscreen and not all of my sunscreen are mattifying finish, if it paired with a sunscreen, my face is a little bit too glowy than what I normally prefer, and I don't do a full face of makeup. Like, if I'm doing a full face makeup, I can probably get away, you know, powder it down or anything. On the daily basis, if I go to work, I actually only conceal certain spots of my face and then I just blend it. I think if you're someone after a bit of glowy serum, after something have a bit of oil component in your skincare routine and you don't want to add a separate step of facial oil in your skincare routine, especially in the morning, everyone is on the go. You don't want to apply 10,000 things. You want the easiest, the simplest way, and you want to try some vitamin C derivative that is not super irritated to the skin. If you've never tried it before, you want to build up the tolerance, this is the one to consider. With active ingredient, I think I mentioned in every single video when I talk about vitamin C and vitamin A, don't think if the concentration is too low is too not worth trying. If you never try it, do go with the lowest concentration as possible, just in case you are very sensitive, because I've gone hard with higher concentration straight away and then it bring me back to square one because my face was so irritated. So it took me a longer time to build up, and I still have areas just really sensitive now. So I wish I would have the option to start with very minimal concentration and then build it up, you know, tested it as I go. Don't feel like you're wasting your money. It's not. Being safe is nothing wrong. Then let's talk about the hydration serum, because blue is my sister's favorite color. Anyway, this is the Sukin hydrating serum with hyaluronic acid and polyglutamic acid with benten and snow mushroom. This bottle here is more for moisturize, hydrate, and plump skin. So again, the packaging is very similar. On the side, it tells you everything they want you to know, the key ingredients, and then have all their notes. This particular bottle got 98% natural origin and Australian made, carbon offside, cruelty free, and vegan. This is the ingredient list over here. This one has the least shortest ingredient list among the three, which I'm really happy about, and I think this is my favorite one out of the three as well. The first ingredient here is water, and then straight away we have aloe vera leaf juice, which is a great calming, soothing, hydrating ingredient. I just have a really good impression with aloe vera. That's something I really enjoy. And then we have benten, which is something they mentioned on the side notes here. This is an ingredient to help hydrate the skin and retain the moisture. With hydrating serum, what you want is a lot of water boost into it, and you want to remain that hydration. You don't want boost into your skin and then evaporize the next second. You kind of want this hydration to stay on your face, and that's what benten is doing. And it's super gentle, it's super friendly for irritated skin or very sensitive skin. And that's a lot of the reason why people would go ahead to try a hydrating serum, because the skin is so irritated. They don't want to use active ingredient, they rather just want a hyaluronic acid just to boost the hydration, to heal the skin before to go ahead to go active treatments again. So I'm really impressed with this particular ingredient. And then they have hyaluronic acid here. I don't know the size of the molecules, but they did mention here they have low weight molecules to penetrate deep into the surface. So you can have bigger molecules or smaller molecules of HA, that's all hyaluronic acid. The bigger one stays on the surface, usually like a locking motion. The smaller ones go deeper into the dermis to really fill up the gaps in between, maybe around the fine lines, what we call the matrix of the skin, and then have the plumping effect, so your skin looks radiant, less dry and less dull actually, and having just a smoother effect in general and feels very soft as well. Then they have polyglutamic acid here. Polyglutamic acid are actually just bigger molecules, so they are gonna sit on the top of the surface as a film to protect everything was already put into the skin. So the combination of the HA and PA are really good friends together as a bonder. So something goes in deeper and something still is up. And they have a whole bunch of other ingredients I'm going to mention. I think they're doing great combinations together, forming a hydrating serums. The next one I want to talk about is the snow mushroom extract. This is again one of my favorite hydrating ingredients. I'm going to say hydrating, moisturization like 1,000 times in this video. I first know snow mushroom extract from the e.l.f. I have an anti-aging or some antioxidant dropper boost or something, like a small white bottle packaging, 15 ml. I reviewed it in one of my e.l.f. cosmetic skincare videos. I'll leave that somewhere. That was the first time that I know snow mushroom, because I was impressed by how much water they can contain in their weights. They can carry 500 more than their weights. So imagine you have snow mushroom on your face, they're carrying a lot more water molecules and they're gonna boost it into your skin, and they have a better penetration than hyaluronic acid as well, so they get into the deeper layer of your skin and it helps to effectively perform hydration than hyaluronic acid. I'm just so impressed by the fact they have all these ingredients and they're all my favorite ingredients. Then we also have wild rosella fruit extract. This is also called hibiscus. This is another Australian ingredient, I believe. This one has a very special property of keeping skin feeling softer, hydrated for a longer period. So it's doing that locking motion like polyglutamic acid as I mentioned earlier. So you have two teams dive into your skin deep layer, two guards to kind of stay on the surface of skin to prevent anything to the outside environment going against it. So it's a really nice combo ingredient list here. I did mention this one having components of natural fragrance, but I personally didn't notice much of smell. It's similar to the brightening serum. It's another dropper bottle, and you can see the color. It's not super like clear as the radiant serum. It has a bit of milky-ish color and it's still relatively quite runny. I don't know if you guys tried the ordinary hyaluronic acid before. I think most of us have tried it before. It was just so popular. That one is a little bit thicker and sometimes a little bit too tacky. You can see this one's just running down to my wrist already. It definitely feels thicker than a water, but it's lighter than a lot of serums. The Avene plumping serum that I mentioned recently, the one that have a minimalist ingredients that I really love, that's a niacinamide serum. This one feels almost identical to that. It's very watery-ish. Definitely not water, because water has no other ingredients. And it's just very nice hydration, and I don't think it stick onto stuff. Let me grab a tissue. It's pretty much drying down by now, and now if I do a tissue blotting on it, because it's just falling. See? It's not tacky. Some of the ordinary products are a bit too tacky, so you have to have a really wet base to get it on the face and then quickly apply a cream afterwards, otherwise it might start to peel, like it's just not working well. This one you don't have to worry that, and it's very easy absorbed into the skin. I love this one the best. And this is not just pure hyaluronic acid as the ordinary. They have a whole bunch of other ingredients that I think is really worth you to try. If it's like a no-brainer, one of the serum to go ahead and try without thinking, this is definitely the one I would recommend. Everyone give it a go if you're loving to have a hyaluronic acid in your skincare routine. I know a lot of the serums, creams and everything already containing HA in your skincare steps, so you don't have to have this one, but if you do want to try something or add extra hydration in your skincare routine, I would say Sukin one is really worth give it a go. And the last one on the list is this purple packaging. This is the Sukin Pro Collagen Serum with tripeptides, acai berry extract, and vegan squalene. This one is aiming to visibly reduce fine lines and wrinkles. This is an okay product. I do love it, but I don't know if I'll repurchase. Same again, the packaging is similar to the other two serums. On one side, they have the key ingredient. They want you to know what it works. And on the other side, it has all these no harsh chemicals, the no claim from Sukin. This bottle is 98% natural origin, Australian made, carbon offside, cruelty free, and vegan. The ingredient list is okay, it's not as long as the brightening serums, but it's not the minimal ingredient list that I've seen from Sukin before. It does also contain natural fragrance as well as essential oil, but I don't think I recognize any of the scent when I was using it, which is good because I know Sukin's signature line has a very signature scent. It's somewhat really strong to certain like group of people where they would hate it, while others much enjoy it because it smells like coming from the forest. I was really okay with it. Like, I noticed the scent and I know it's a Sukin scent, but it really wasn't a hate or love in my opinion. But I'm really glad they have some sort of fragrance, but it's not noticeable. And because they're naturally derived, it's still having the chance of having allergy, but it's far more better than it's like the artificial one and they just add it in, if you know what I'm trying to say. Alright, looking at the ingredients, we have macadamia seed oil to start with. Don't worry, this one is not oily at all. So I'm really impressed this oil ingredient so high up on the ingredient list and still able to make the texture really lightweight. So macadamia seed oil, it helps to absorb the moisture, so it helps with all the other ingredients they have and to penetrate a little bit deeper into the skin. And then we have the tripeptide, we have the Palmitail Tripeptide 5. I hope I got the name right. This is my memory card was full, so I just changed a new one. So sorry if the frame was looking slightly different. I have to zoom in a little bit because my background is not big enough. Anyway, I was talking about this peptide. This is a synthetic peptide. It's having a great penetration ability, and peptide, what it does, it helps to stimulate collagen production. So again, as I was mentioning, we have this matrix in the skin layer, deep in the skin layer, and when you having a wrinkles or fine lines, some of the matrix got like broken, flapped, like indentation, and by having this peptide deep in, it stimulate the collagen production, and the collagen will just fill up these areas. Same as the hyaluronic acid, they will fill up this gap so your skin looks plumper, less wrinkled, and less fine line looking and less drying as well. So this one's really good in terms of against all those. It helps fill up the gaps by producing the collagen, and this is pretty high on the ingredient list. And then I see hyaluronic acid straight after it. So like I said earlier, they're just all filling up the gaps, so it makes skin looks a lot firmer, a lot plumper, less dry and less wrinkly. Then we also have pumpkin seed oil. This is also known as a lifting oil because they have a lot of essential fatty acid, and it also contains vitamins, natural antioxidants. So it kind of just in as a supporting ingredient to lift everything along with all the other ingredients here. Then we have the vegan squalene. So squalene again is really good as in soften the texture, make it softer, look smoother and more baby feeling-ish. You know when you wake up you have a baby skin, you just want to touch yourself a little bit more. I do that after I done my skincare and I was like, oh look, my skin's so soft. It's just a moment of self-care, a moment of self-admire, I guess. I just really enjoy all the skincare I'm using and the results I'm receiving. And then we also have kangaroo pulp fruit extract. I'll insert a photo here because it's an Australian flower, and the name is because the flowers looks like kangaroo pulp. They're so fluffy. They have different vibrant color, but mostly around reddish color. Back in the days, the indigenous Australian would use this in their traditional recipes in terms of healing wounds, cuts, burns, anything like that. So you can tell this particular ingredient have a great healing property. It helps speed up the skin renewal process along with the tripeptide. They're really trying to make this matrix fill up again without no more indentations. Then we also have Asa berry fruit extract. I think that's how you say this name. This is like a Brazilian berry fruit, isn't it? It's a natural antioxidant, a great ingredient, contains a lot of fatty acid. It helps to improve the skin elasticity. I first noticed the ingredient is from a Healthy Care lip balm. I still have it beside my bed. Yeah, I think I have a new one that I'm trying to use beside my bed. It was a really interesting product to me because I had no idea what it is and until I know the lip balm. Then they've also added vitamin E here to increase the moisturization levels. So I think the ingredient in this bottle is also really good. They're really targeting to reduce the fine lines and wrinkles, and then they have all these moisturizing ingredients like the oils, like the vitamin E's, to, I guess, prolong the hydration feeling and to lock everything in the skin for a little bit longer. This one is somewhat similar to the hydration serums, but the hydration serum is purely, it's a water boost, if that makes sense, where this one has some collagen production going on. So it's similar, but they are targeting at different aspects of the skin issues. So I wouldn't say they're identical. If you're starting to have fine lines, that's when you might notice a slightly difference. If you have to purchase one, I would say this long-term wise, because filling up the lines is the ultimate goal for anti-aging. But don't forget, the water molecules are also very important to create that plumping effect. The personal experience, this one is different to the other two bottles. We don't have it in a dropper bottle, and I really love the fact they just didn't go everything exactly the same, because this one is a slightly thicker consistency, and with a dropper bottle you might not get as much of product as you would wish. So they're giving us a pumping bottle here. Let me show you. It's still a bit runny, you can see it's running down, but it's more of a lotion texture. That is why I think pumping bottle is way more better than a dropper bottle. It's come with this white milk color, still very lightweight. It's just such a luxury feeling when you apply it on your face. This one has a little bit of scent of that natural fragrance. It's definitely not the Sukin typical scent. I can't really tell what it is, because they have sunflower seed oil. They also have one called ylang ylang flower oil. I believe that's another Australian ingredient. Maybe it's coming from those ingredients that I'm not super familiar with. It's so minimal because when I was using it, I did not notice. But now if I sniff really hard close to my skin, I just noticed that little bit. It feels lightweight, really fresh feeling. It pairs with other serums with no trouble because it doesn't feel heavy at all. If you are wanting to use two serums in your skincare routine, you can easily choose this peptide. The other peptide that we all well know is probably the ordinary buffet, which is a tripeptide as well. That one gives a quick absorption rate as well, and my mom loves that one. But I do feel like during the winter time or season changing time, a lotion texture, it just the experience wise, it's gonna be better than the buffet. Buffet is still more like the hyaluronic acid one that I mentioned. Is a bit of jelly texture. I think a lotion texture, it just feels much better. That slightly different texture will make the difference, especially during the winter time or season changing. Otherwise, I don't think it's much of a difference to the ordinary. And I do think the ordinary is a little bit more expensive. $27.60. This is much expensive than when I first purchased this. I think it was $24 many years ago when I first purchased for 30 ml. So if it's not on sale, definitely the ordinary a lot more affordable. But if Sukin's gone for a sale, although it's 25 ml, but it will be much more affordable than $27.6, the ordinary one. It could be a thing in the back of your mind to choose as an alternative if you happen to find the ordinary was out of stock and Sukin is on sale. Because the other thing with the ordinary, not these days, when it first launched, they had the issue with everything which is out of stock automatically. The minute they have in stock, the next second it's gone. I don't know why, but I had that experience very often when I was purchasing ordinary back in the days. And that pretty much is everything for today's video. Like I mentioned as I was explaining the products, my favorite one's definitely the hydrating serums, and my brightening serum is my least favorite. I guess it has something to do with my skin type, as well as the fact I'm not very impressed with the concentration of the vitamin C's they've got in here. But nevertheless, I'm really happy seeing Sukin come up with this new natural active lines, and I can see they are getting the ingredient working into their skincare routines. So hopefully they can come up with even better products. There's so many other ingredients there that you can sort of tip your toes into it and then create new serums or creams or other things for us to try in the future. So I have high hopes for serum. I have high hopes for Sukin and wish them all the best, and I hope you guys really enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to give me a like and consider the subscribe. Leave a comment down below. What do you think of the 3 serums? Are they a little bit pricey? Would you consider purchase, maybe try it when it's on sale, or you just don't care about Sukin brand at all anymore? I hope you all stay safe and stay positive, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye! Hi guys, let me grab my stuff. Let's get all my things ready, and we are ready to roll. I think this will be the last video that I film for today because it's a long day. It helps to speed that. It helps to